The medical exchange program at Galactic University had been running for 12 cycles with little incident. Representatives from 67 sentient species gathered to learn healing practices across the known universe, sharing knowledge that bridged biological divides. But nothing had prepared the gathered students for their first emergency simulation with Professor Tom, the human instructor. Today, Tom announced to the lecture hall filled with diverse alien anatomy, we're covering emergency first aid in hostile environments without medical equipment. The assembled students buzzed with anticipation. Humans had joined the Galactic Union only 15 years ago, entering as a Class 12 Deathworld species. Their physiology and medical practices remained mysterious to most. Near the front row, Neri, a slender blue-skinned Levian with 4 delicate arms, raised an appendage. Professor, our preliminary readings suggest many human first aid techniques are considered trauma-inducing by 17 civilizations. Is this true? Tom smiled. That's why we're here today. What saves lives on Earth might seem barbaric elsewhere, but understanding adaptation is key to universal medicine. In the back of the class, Drell, a crystalline Praxian, vibrated nervously. Every medical procedure they'd studied involved precision technology and neural stabilizers. The concept of improvised care was deeply unsettling. First scenario, Tom began, activating the simulation room. You're on a remote mining outpost with no medical facilities. Your crewmate has a collapsed lung from a puncture wound. Without intervention, death occurs in minutes. The holographic patient appeared on the central platform, a human male gasping for breath, chest heaving unevenly. What's your response? Tom asked. Vola, a methane-breathing Tarkian, suggested, administer cryoxygen suspension until proper medical. No supplies, Tom interrupted. No specialized equipment. Silence filled the room. The patient's vitals declined rapidly on the overhead display. Tom stepped forward. On Earth, we perform what's called a needle decompression. He pulled a small knife and a hollow tube from his pocket. If necessary, we create one. Gasps echoed through the room as Tom demonstrated, inserting the makeshift device between the patient's ribs. The simulation showed immediate improvement in oxygen levels. You deliberately created a second wound? Asked Pell, a gelatinous collective organism who had never experienced physical injury. Sometimes you have to make things worse to make them better, Tom explained. Human medicine often operates on this principle. The afternoon progressed through increasingly alarming scenarios. The class learned about tourniquets fashioned from clothing, wound cleaning with alcoholic beverages, and setting broken bones with improvised splints. By the third hour, several students had excused themselves. Drell remained, though their crystalline structure showed distress fractures. Our final scenario, Tom announced, involves catastrophic blood loss. The simulation displayed a human with a severed artery, blood pooling rapidly. Without advanced clotting agents or surgical tools, what would a human do? Tom asked. No one volunteered an answer. We cauterize, Tom stated simply, demonstrating how to heat metal and press it against the wound. The sizzling sound that followed caused Neri to emit a high-pitched whistle of distress. You deliberately cause a thermal injury? Pell asked, their gelatinous form rippling with shock. Third-degree burns to prevent exsanguination, Tom confirmed. Pain versus death is a calculation humans make instinctively. After class, the faculty lounge buzzed with conversation. Professor Lim, a respected Venturi physician, approached Tom. That was illuminating, Lim said carefully. But I worry you've traumatized half your students. Tom sighed. They need to understand. Emergency medicine isn't always pretty. It's not just the procedures, Lim replied. It's the casualness with which humans approach bodily harm. You speak of deliberately causing injuries as though discussing the weather. Tom considered this. I suppose living on a death world changes your perspective. When your environment is constantly trying to kill you, extreme solutions become normal. The next day, attendance dropped by 30%. Tom began with a gentler approach, explaining the biological adaptations that made humans resilient to trauma. Humans evolved with remarkable healing capabilities, he explained. Our tissue regeneration, while slow compared to some species, is exceptionally thorough. Halfway through the lecture, alarms blared throughout the building. Not simulation. Alarms. Real emergency signals. Containment breach in Chemistry Lab 4, announced the AI system. Corrosive gas release. Emergency protocols engaged. Students panicked as lockdown procedures initiated. Tom quickly assessed the situation. They were closest to the affected area, with evacuation routes likely compromised. Everyone remain calm, he ordered, grabbing the emergency kit. The ventilation system will clear the gas eventually, but we need to seal the room. As he spoke, the doors hissed shut automatically, but through the transparent wall they could see an unconscious figure in the hallway, Professor Lim caught in the gas cloud. Without hesitation, Tom overrode the door lock, wrapped a wet cloth around his face, and sprinted into the corridor. Students watched in horror as he dragged Lim back into the classroom, sealing the door behind them. Lim's exoskeleton showed clear chemical burns. Their breathing apparatus had failed. "I need help," Tom said calmly, though his own exposed skin was blistering. "This isn't a simulation." To everyone's surprise, Drell stepped forward. "What should I do?" What followed was a real-time demonstration of Deathworlder first aid. The class watched as Tom and Drell neutralized the chemical burns, improvised a breathing apparatus, and stabilized Lim until emergency services arrived. Hours later, in the medical bay, Lim regained consciousness. The doctor confirmed that without immediate intervention, the professor would not have survived. News spread quickly throughout the university. The next class was standing room only, with students from departments not even related to medicine attending. "Yesterday, you saw emergency first aid in practice," Tom began. "It wasn't clean, it wasn't comfortable, but it worked." Neary raised a hand. "We've been approaching this wrong, Professor. We saw your methods as brutal because they cause pain. But we failed to recognize that sometimes survival requires enduring discomfort." Tom nodded. "That's the most important lesson from Earth medicine. Not the techniques themselves, but the philosophy behind them. Adapt, improvise, and never give up, even when the solution isn't perfect." After class, Drell approached the professor. "Humans are different than we thought," they said. "Crystalline. Structure now stable. Your methods seem harsh, but there's wisdom in them." Tom smiled. "The universe is harsh. Humans just learn to be harsher when necessary, and kinder when possible." Word count, 1,000.